Here's some fun Easter eggs that you may have missed in the Toy Story movies. Woody has red stitching on his arm, as we know, as his arm got damaged in Toy Story 2. Throughout the rest of the films, they kept this, and if you zoom in, Woody still has the red stitching, up until the last movie, Toy Story 4. The toys seem to blink a lot in the Pixar movies. That's intentional. Many complex emotions, such as bewilderment, or being confused, or startled, can't always be shown through the facial features, so blinking was a great solution to show more emotions for the characters we love. Towards the end of Toy Story, we see Buzz moving a very heavy toolbox. If you look at the logo, it's actually Binford, the same toolbox used on the set of Home Improvement, which is the same brand used on the show. Something that's a really fun crossover that Tim Allen not only voiced Buzz, but he was also in Home Improvement. As we know, Don Rickles has sadly passed away after Toy Story 3, and before Toy Story 4 was released. Don Rickles did appear in Toy Story 4, but only after permission from the family to use archival recorded voice lines over the past many decades that he did work with Pixar. So although he had passed on, he was very much alive in Toy Story 4 through his voice recordings from the past. In Toy Story 2, when Woody has his nightmare sequence, you can see him falling through a stack of poker cards. If you look very closely, they're all the black ace of spades, which is a symbol for death, something that Pixar put in there as a metaphor, as Woody felt himself slipping away and dying as Andy's favorite toy. I always wondered whatever happened to Sid Phillips after Toy Story 1, as we did not see him appear in Toy Story 2 at all. Not until Toy Story 3, we do see a shot of him with the skull shirt. He has grown up and he is a garbage collector, which is a really fun throwback to what happened to Sid. Well, he became a garbage man, and that was cool to see in Toy Story 3. In Toy Story 4, we see Bo Peep call the sheep over, and Billy Goat and Gruff deliver this Grape Soda Pin, which is actually from another Pixar film, Up, back in 2009. It was a very cool throwback to another Pixar movie within a Toy Story 4 Pixar movie. Some people may not know this, but in Toy Story 1, when Andy had his birthday party and all his guests arrive, they all had the same faces. So the technology back in 1995 wasn't the greatest, and so when they were designing these characters, they couldn't just make individual faces for whatever reason. Maybe the technology wasn't quite there yet, or maybe they thought no one would notice. Case in point, everybody had Andy's face, so basically Andy had a birthday party with himself, cloned, and it's really funny. Some people out there may not have noticed that in Toy Story 4, Boo actually appears from Monsters, Inc. We haven't seen Boo in a very long time, and suddenly in 2019 for Toy Story 4, we find Boo at a scene at the carnival, which is really cool. If you take a look at the handwriting on Andy at the bottom of the boot, you can tell that Andy was younger, and so his handwriting was more sloppy, not as proportioned or written as well. But if you look at Buzz's shoe, which is a toy that Andy got later on, you can tell that he grew up a little bit and his handwriting got better. So that was cool that Pixar paid attention to a growing young Andy to improve his handwriting, which is actually pretty realistic to real life. In Toy Story 2, if you watch the blooper reel at the end of the movie, you can see Heimlich talking to Flick from A Bug's Life, and they're having a conversation about, hey, I got you a part in the new Toy Story movie. And he's like, really? What part? And then you see Buzz chopping the branch and they just fly off, which is a really funny and fun blooper reel. Now, if you actually see the real scene in Toy Story 2, Heimlich is actually pretty far up the branch. It's not where Buzz chopped in the blooper reel. So either they took a different take, but it's just funny anyways to see that that scene actually wasn't used in the blooper reel and it was just a little bit different on the final take. Not everybody may know this, but there's actually a lot of adult jokes that are inappropriate throughout the Toy Story movies. I actually covered this topic in a different video, but for this picture, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that with the legs and the fishing line, this is definitely a hooker. A cool fact when making the Toy Story movie, you can see that they attach shoes onto a board to simulate the walking motion of the toy soldiers in the movie. In order to fully understand what that would look like for the animators, they actually got to get on this board with those shoes to kind of feel and see what that would be like if these toys were moving in real life, which is really fun. A fun obscure fact from Toy Story 3 is on the back of the magazine, you can see a picture of Darla from Finding Nemo, a very random cameo to another Pixar movie within a Pixar movie, which I think is really cool when Pixar does this. They take little parts from other movies and then mix them all together. It was cool to see a very obscure character from Finding Nemo make its way to Toy Story 3 in the back of a magazine. A very crazy Easter egg that I was shocked by was a reference to the horror film The Shining. Room 237 is seen on the back of Sid's garbage truck here on Toy Story 3. If you zoom in, it says RM237, which is the exact same room as seen in the horror film The Shining. If you had any doubts at all if the Pixar animators really love the Shining movie, this is proved again in Sid's house in Toy Story. You can see the carpet is the same color and the same exact pattern as the movie The Shining. So you can definitely see The Shining referenced in more than one Toy Story movie. So somebody at Pixar has to be a fan of this movie because we see it again. One of my most favorite hidden Easter eggs out of all the Toy Story movies would be this scene, as I'm a huge fan of Jurassic Park. You can see the rearview mirror when Mr. Potato Head looks back. He looks at Rex chasing the car, and it's very directly connected to that scene in Jurassic Park when the T-Rex is approaching the Jeep and you're looking at the rearview mirror of the T-Rex approaching. It is so genius that they did this, and I love that they cross-reference this with Jurassic Park. It's very fun, and it's a really, really hilarious scene. Another fun hidden Easter egg would be when we see the back compartment come off of Buzz in Toy Story 3. You see the batteries. They're actually the By and Large brand that is made famous in the WALL-E movie, By and Large. So it's so cool to see that crossover. Again, Pixar using things from other movies to put in to Toy Story. And it's really cool to see that Buzz has those batteries connected to WALL-E's world. Another fun hidden Easter egg would be the Dynaco Fuel brand, where you get your gasoline. I remember seeing the Pizza Planet truck drive up to a Dynaco to refuel, and that's directly taken from the Cars movie. So that was another cool Pixar crossover in the same movies. Last on my list, but certainly not least, would be this awesome reference to Toy Story 1 when you see Buzz look up and check out for the first time the new utility belt Buzz Lightyear at Al's Toy Barn. You see Buzz slowly looking up at this giant Buzz before him, and the camera pans from the legs up to his head, exactly the way that Woody first saw Buzz Lightyear on Andy's bed. So it was really cool, an homage, a throwback to honor Toy Story 1. It's really cool to see that Buzz having the same experience Woody had, looking at a toy for the first time, just like we saw in the first movie. So that is one of my favorite things. I hope you partners enjoyed my list of things that I found interesting that are either secrets, hidden facts, or Easter eggs throughout all the Toy Story movies. There is many more out there, but these are some of my favorite ones that I caught when watching the movies. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. What other things do you notice about Toy Story that I may have not caught in watching these films? As always, partners, thank you so much for watching, liking, and commenting on these videos. It really helps support what I do here on YouTube. If you'd like to continue to support me on this journey, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, see you later for future videos on this channel, and I'll see you partners on the next video review.
You want the real Buzz Lightyear? You're an action figure!
You are a sad, strange little man. You are a sad, strange little man. That might be.
You are a child's plaything!
Hey, Ham, look, I'm Picasso.
I don't get it.